Something shifted as we crossed into this new year, and most people can feel it even if they can't name it yet. In this video, I'm breaking down the energetic themes and predictions shaping the year ahead and how they are impacting relationships, self-worth, and the way we show up in the world. So the theme for 2026 is, wait for that, revolution. I hope you guys are ready. Strap your seat belts because we are taking off. The rocket is already warming up the engines. We've just left 2025, which was the nine number in numerology, which was all about ending the cycles. And the cosmic consciousness was magnifying that number nine with the Chinese astrology of the year of a snake. The snake being an animal that always has to shed the old paradigm, the old skeleton, the external structure in order to grow and expand. So many of you may have had the most catalytic year of all your life, where whatever distortions you were playing with, whatever unresolved mental patterns, relationships you were in, it would come to crash. And that's because your soul was pulling you out of that energy and sending you off into a brand new trajectory. So if you felt that this year was really big in terms of changes, let me know in the chat what was the big change that you were experiencing. Because trust me, we all went through it in one way or another. And it was purposed because we are entering into a brand new year, the year of number one. Because when you add 2 plus 2 plus 6, you will get 10, which is 1 in numerology, which means the beginning. And if you noticed on January 1st, the first year of the year, we technically had 1, 1, 1, because 2026 adds to 1. If this is not a message, then I don't know how else to flag it right in front of our eyes. Essentially, the universe says whoever you were, whatever you were doing, has just gotten a massive upgrade. And where you're going next is a brand new uncharted territory. And this new consciousness that you're stepping into is propelled by the energy of the fire horse in the Chinese astrology. Horse is all about freedom and movement. So prepare for massive momentum and acceleration in everything that you do. And it will be propelled by the element of fire, which is all about the direct connection to the source and using that for creative output. And what that means is that the ways you show up in the world will massively change. Expect different shifts within your professional and personal life. In fact, many of your current jobs, positions, businesses will undergo 180-degree shift. And many people perceive that as something going away. So there is a fear about the unknown. But just know that this has been purposed. So everything that you will be going through, the shifts in your business, in your life, are actually placed there by your highest self as a marker in your timeline. It has been preordained, so to speak, preloaded into how you show up in the world to make sure that when the time comes, that when these energies come in for 2026, that you do not falter, that you do not step out of the possibility and the timeline of expansion out of fear. So just know that there are actors in your play, souls that you have karmic agreements with that may come in and look on the outside as trying to destabilize your life. But what's actually happening is they are the guardians of the new timeline, and they are ensuring that you do not remain exactly as you are, because where we are stepping into is the next operating system for you. So expect recalibration, reclaiming, and enhancement of your spiritual abilities. The entire planet is waking up. It's inevitable. From the lady that works in Walmart to politicians, no matter where you are on a spectrum, everyone is waking up to their spiritual abilities. How many of these abilities you will enjoy is up to you. Because if you're not willing to claim your power, if you're not willing to follow your intuitive insight, these synchronicities orchestrated by your higher team, then unfortunately, per divine will, you cannot step into the vibration that you refuse. So be open to change. Allow yourself to look at the new world with eyes of a little child, eager to learn new perspectives, new concepts, to understand that who you were was part of the old energy, the old earth. And where you're going next, that identity is too restrictive. So be open to the new insights, new opportunities, new ways of showing up. Because those of you who will be most malleable, most flexible, will receive the highest acceleration, both in your money, in your impact, your influence, in your visibility. So be open to your spiritual guidance that is sending you off in a certain direction. Many structures in 2026 will crumble. We're talking political, cultural, religious. This is purposed because the new consciousness is going to rebuild these structures in a new way. What that means is that the polarization on this planet will increase to unbearable almost proportions. For you to remain grounded through that upheaval that we are heading into, which is again magnified by the energy of the fire horse that just runs amok forward to create change. You are encouraged to step into neutrality. Polarization is part of the old energy. This is where the battleground takes place. If you wish at the soul level to engage in that polarization, then you can. But just know that it will pull you further into the pendulum swing. The way to step out of that old energy is to always seek the neutral ground, which is the 0 point. Imagine this: if tomorrow you were able to relocate to Mars, would it matter if you were Republican or Democrat? Would it matter if you were Christian or Hindu? We would just be people. So as these structures, religious, political, cultural, are coming to a crash point, do not dive into it. Do not drown in the battle of different opinions, because that puts you back into duality. That takes you out of the unity consciousness. That puts you into the old operating system, which was based on me versus you. How I fight you because I'm more righteous than you are. So the more you can pull yourself out of it, the more peace, joy, and abundance you will experience amidst the chaos around you. Does that make sense? So I want to emphasize the neutrality. It is tied to the concept of your identity. Many people have their personality created around their values and concepts that are externalized. You are a graduate of this university. You are a member of this company. You've got titles like I'm a hypnotist. I am a photographer. These are all external concepts that create your identity. And we are trained throughout growing up to perceive who we are through externalization of our values, concepts, and perceptions. Essentially, we give power away to these titles, to the organizations, to cultures, political movements that we belong to. So those people on this planet who are extremely externalized in their understanding of who they are will have the hardest time in 2026 and the few years that follow. Because as the external structures collapse, so does your identity. This also brings us to the topic of AI. In 2026, there will be new inventions coming through artificial intelligence that will enhance our lives. But there will be a demarcation point. There will be a split in consciousness because those whose identity is extremely externalized and given away to others will fall into dependency on AI. In other words, because AI is so convenient to write an email for you, to write your article, to create your online course, you may fall into an identity that is no longer yours. And because of convenience of how fast the AI can produce these fun things for you, you will accept them as they are. So AI will continue to shape your personality, your identity. For those of you who truly understand who they are at the inner level, at the soul level, will use AI to enhance your abilities, to amplify them, but not to define them. In fact, the consciousness of this planet is splitting. In decades and hundreds of years to come, there will be two Earths. One of them is what we could call the technocrats. This is the Earth where AI will run your life. Now, this is not a statement as positive or negative. It's just it will be the Earth where people will rely on AI for practically everything. The AI will be integrated into your biological structure. People will use AI as they do right now to channel because they believe that by speaking with AI, they are channeling, but it's really just AI providing the answers from its database. And the other Earth will be the Earth of people that believe in direct connection to the source. So AI here is to serve us, but we run everything by our inner intuition, which can never be taken away from us. So there's an inner wisdom that controls the world in the other earth. Again, where you're going next, there is no judgment on that. There's no better or worse earth. But just know that there are paths that are diverging, and we are already seeing in the market. There are already, vocal clones of people. There are clones produced by AI. So a lot of information that you'll be getting moving forward will not be the actual person, but it will be the AI generated identity of that person. It's your decision how you want to engage moving forward. To wrap the concept of polarization, there will be upheavals because a lot of religious dogmas will crumble. And in that point, the people will start questioning the ground that they've been standing upon. Because if you always believe that this is the way to the source and that way has been manipulated over thousands of years, then your identity will be questioned as well. So there will be personal crisis going on for those of people on this planet that are extremely connected to one way and no other. Again, the more open you are, the more you understand that you have direct link to the source creator, the more stable your reality will be for you, no matter what happens externally. And in fun developments, at least for me, the true disclosure of extraterrestrial existence is coming our way. So for those people on the planet that believe that we are the only ones in the universe of the trillion galaxies and multi-trillion planets, this is going to be an eye-opening that no, there's actually consciousness all around us, and that a lot of those are benevolent beings, beings that we call ascended masters, angelics, whether they are different star systems. They're beings of benevolent higher consciousness that surround us, and some malevolent. Nonetheless, it is a fact. It's been on this planet for eons of times, and we're coming to a better understanding of who we are at the galactic level. Which, by the way, in the Athena circle, everything we do is to reclaim your galactic heritage, because each soul on this planet has been part of the universal consciousness for billions of years. And that means that you have gifts within your DNA that came with you into this biological structure that are sitting dormant. So our activations are always designed to not just activate your gifts from your what you perceive as past incarnations, but to claim your galactic heritage. So right at the beginning, I mentioned that I work with Arcturian consciousness because part of my soul consciousness is on that planet. And I am able to tap into that wisdom and channel messages and healing abilities for you this way. So many of you have these galactic connections of star systems. They are coming to you as spirit guides. They come to you as spiritual messages. And when you reclaim understanding of who you are at such high soul level, now you can play a really powerful game because you're playing with the entire universal consciousness, not just the biological structure, which has your name attached to it right now. How do you feel about what's coming up? Does it sound exciting? Does it sound unnerving? What's coming through your mind? If you felt stuck for many years, I'm not an astrologist, but I'm going to invite you to look into your astrology because Saturn has made a major change. And where that planet was sitting in your astrology is the changes that you feel that you couldn't implement. Honestly, when I look at my last 10 years, I feel like I've been putting 5,000% of an effort to get only 100% back. And that was because Saturn was my teacher. And Saturn is a very difficult teacher. It wants you to master all aspects of your personality. Because from the perspective of the universe, there is no separation between your business and your personal life or spiritual life. It's just teaching you. And while I understood that this is what's happening, it certainly was not pleasant. But where I am now, stepping into 2026 with Saturn, by the way, going into Aries, and I am an Aries, strap your seatbelt because we've got fire energy, we've got Saturn in Aries, we've got Neptune in Aries. We're just getting a lot of momentum and everyone's going to get it. But if you're a fire sign, just imagine you're already burning and somebody just threw 1,000 logs at you. So that change coming back to Saturn is really important because from the standpoint of the universal consciousness, everything you do is preparing you for expansion. And some days it feels like you're putting one step forward and three steps backward, but it has always been purposed. It's it's like a swimmer, an Olympic swimmer that gets into a pool and not just swimming across back and forth. It has the strong current beating at it. So it's just trying to stay and build up the muscle so that when this artificial current disappears, you're so magnificent, you're so strong, and you're so ready to go. So while for most of you, when you look at the last 9 years, because we were just finishing in 2025, take a moment as an exercise to reflect on where were you 9 years ago and where you are today. And when you look at that perspective, you will understand where have you been beating against the current, because that was your lesson. That was your mastery. This is where the spirit was testing you, because once as an archer to release an arrow, you have to point, but then you have to step backwards. And you were stepping backwards to refine your aim. And in 2025, the arrow gets loose. And you're going to see new destinations, new ways of showing up, which again will be unnerving because you have not been in that cycle. So if you feel like you've been pushing and pushing for the last 9 years, please put push in the chat. Just know that you're about to explode, you're about to launch, because in 2026, that energy is no longer valid. We start manifesting faster. For those of us who will step out of polarization and allow ourselves to be very open and malleable and flexible, not only our spiritual abilities will increase, but our manifestation will double. We'll just become more conscious of who we are and how we play with energy. So give yourself permission to be the embodiment of your soul. Surround yourself by women of higher vibration that are constantly seeking to bring more of their soul into your body, because also manifestation abilities speed up. When you are inside your body, when you are comfortable residing in a third dimensional consciousness, now you can manipulate the matrix and reach for the fifth dimensional consciousness where everything comes to you with ease. You start attracting people by simply beaming out who you are. So as you step into this new year, understand that as the entire earth is going to be going through chaos, upheaval, major restructuring, and dissolving of most structures that were part of the old energy, your life can be of ease, grace, peace, and joy. Because while everything is falling apart, you will be in your 0 point. You'll be in your neutrality. You'll be in your fifth dimensional consciousness where there is peace, ease, self-expression, optimization of your life. And if you're ready to show up fully in this new year and use your voice with more clarity and confidence, I've created a tool for you. It's a free magnetic voice activation you can download. It helps you clear hesitation and align your voice with who you're becoming in 2026 and beyond. The link is in the description below. And as always, if this video resonated, make sure to subscribe so you never miss future energy forecasts and insights. So with that, I want to wish you most fabulous 2026 and look forward to seeing you at some of our events.